Good morning, everyone. It's Lauren J. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I like to do get ready with me style videos using products that are new to me, or just need a little bit more love in my collection. Today, I am going to be using products that need more love in my collection, and I'm going to be duping the vibes of the new Summer Guerlain collection Aura Glow. So if you're interested in how I do that, please keep watching. Okay, so I talked in my last video about how I was having second thoughts about the Summer Guerlain collection and picking up a bunch of pieces. I was super excited when it first came out, but after looking at it a little bit more, I decided that the pieces just weren't fitting into what I needed right now. They're very dupable in my collection. Even if I don't have the exact colors, even if I'm not duping the palette exactly, I can get the feeling of that collection with items that I have picked up recently. I've also been feeling a bit of makeup fatigue lately. A lot of things aren't that interesting. I just picked up the Chanel collection and I love the blues. I love playing with the blues. And I'm kind of just satisfied with what I have right now, so I'm not feeling the need to rush out and get so many more products. And after a while, when you have bought a lot of products, spent a lot of money, and are just feeling the weight of things sitting on your vanity, you just need to take a break. So the point of this video is not necessarily to say this is a dupe for the Aura Glow palette or the Aura Glow collection from Guerlain. It is not to say don't spend your money on Guerlain. Buy the quad if you want, or don't buy it if you don't want it. I don't care, honestly, if you buy it or not. This video is just to be in conversation with the content that I see in my feed right now. And in my feed, I only see a few videos about the new Guerlain collection. And the ones that I have watched a video from All Feisty, and I've watched a video from Lexi Zhang. Those are the only two people that I've seen do full reviews on the palette. And I am mostly talking about the palette right now, not the Meteorites, not the lip glow. And they have both said they like the palette, but it's not that special. So that's what I'm going with right now. So what happens when you want that luxury experience of the Aura Glow collection, but you don't really want to spend the money on it right now? Well, that's what this video is for. Again, I'm not saying this is dupable. If you're going to comment that, oh, this is so much different than what the palette is, that's not the point of this video. I'm not here to say, use this thing and you will dupe that palette. I am saying I'm duping the vibes, the feeling I get from that collection, the feeling that I get from that palette, and that's the point of this video. Let's get into it. I have started with skincare, sunscreen, brows, and I've primed my eyes as per usual. I am going to start with how I feel I can mimic the look of the Aura Glow palette. So what I'm going to do is use a Guerlain palette. Now this is a limited edition quad. You can't get this one anymore, but this is Red Vanda 770. This was from the Lunar New Year collection from 2022. It's a beautiful palette. This is an orchid leaf. It's done in beautiful velvet, and it's just a really special quad. And this was kind of a quad that got ignored a lot when it first came out. And it's just this beautiful red, pink, and gold color story. Very appropriate for Lunar New Year, but also it has some of the same shades or some of the same vibes of the exotic orchid quad that is part of the permanent line. This is also the baked formula, so if you look inside of it, it doesn't have the metal pans in it. More recently, they have been doing the pressed shadows, which if you look on the inside of the quads for the pressed shadows, you can see little metal pans where they press the shadow into the pan and then they glue the pan into the quad. That's different from this formula, but the glittery tiger and the undressed browns shadow quads that I have are both of the pressed formula. I like the pressed formula. I also like this formula. I have this in Red Vanda, and I also have the special edition quad from summer of last year. Summer Jean is also in this formula of the baked shades. So I'm going to use this because this to me has a lot of the same DNA of the Aura Glow. It's just missing that duochrome blue shade. here. And I have lots of duochrome blues, and I will be showing you that in a minute. But it has the feeling of that quad because you have a lot of the deeper coppers and reds and pinks in here. And while it doesn't have that deeper plum, you have this shade right here, which is kind of a nice satin, and it's got that red and purple in it. And it might be a little bit redder than the shade in the Aura Glow, but I have a sense that it's going to basically look pretty similar on the eyes. And then you have this shade here, which is this metallic copper. And this is my favorite shade in this quad. I love a copper, and I love this particular deep shade of copper. And there is a metallic red copper in the Aura Glow shade. I think it's probably maybe a little bit lighter, a little bit more orangey than this one, but I feel like I'm also going to get the same vibe with this shadow, and it is just a really beautiful shade. And then we have the pink shade here, which is just a nice satiny pink. It's just not that special, but it is really, you know, soft and nice on the eyes. And then I'll just swatch this one here real quick. I'm not going to use this today, but that's the gold, which is just a really pretty shimmer gold. So as I said, I already primed my eyes, so I'm going to be going in with a large fluffy crease brush, an angled fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to go into the copper metallic, red copper metallic shade here, and just dipping it in, and I'm just going to be putting that on the outer V. And look at how vibrant that shade is, even with this fluffy crease brush. Like, it's very nice. It can go deep and it can be sheared out really beautifully. And it's just got like a hint of pink and purple in it, which is giving me that Aura Glow vibe from that quad, which does have the purples and the pinky tones, the redder pinky tones to it. So this is how I'm going to start out this look, and is going to set the tone for the rest of it. Now this is going to start out looking very deep, but I think we're going to get it to a place where it looks very just glowy and springtime appropriate for when those flowers are starting to bloom, colors starting to seep back into the landscape. We just got like 3 inches of snow last night, or the night before, and so all of my poor little bloomies out in the garden, all of my poor little plants that have started to bud up are now covered in a nice little coating of snow. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but it is March. The weather does strange things sometimes. But I do have a little bit of green in the garden right now, which is very nice. And I just like that really nice metallic glow. I do think this is a true metallic. I believe All Feisty said that she didn't believe that the shades in the Aura Glow quad were truly metallic. I do feel like this one can be built up to be a strong metallic or just like a nice glowy metallic. And if you wanted to deepen this up a little bit, you could probably go into this satiny shade right here. Again, this is pretty much the same color, it's just less metallic and a little bit more purple. I'm not going to do that today. I'm actually going to go into the pink shade and just swipe that all over the center of the lid. This is the Chanel number 200 dual-ended eyeshadow. I'm just taking the flat shader side, and I'm going to go in with this pink shade and just dust that over the main part of the lid just to put some of that soft pink down as a base. I do have the Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick in Vanilla Kiss down over the eyeshadow primer just to lighten up the eyes and give a brighter base. But as you can see, this is not a hugely impactful shade, but I'm not really asking it to do anything other than just be a nice pink base for the rest of the look. Now the next product I'm going to put down is a newer product to my collection. This is the Chanel Baume Essential. This is in Mermaid Glow. This is the one that came out with the spring collection. So this beautiful Baume Essential has pink and golden shimmers in it, and it's just a beautiful wet look. And this is again giving me that Aura Glow vibe. The Aura Glow, the white shade in there is supposed to have a sort of blue flip, but it also has a little bit of like purple and pink in it. So I am going to use this on my eyes. I'm just going to take a little bit and just tap on the eyes. This is a multi-use product, and I have seen them use this on the eye in a Chanel video. So I'm just tapping that over the pink. Just for a little bit more of a glow. So you just get a little bit more of that wet look. And in the light, you can see a bit of the sparkle. But yeah, I like that. I like that look. I like that glow that it gives. Instead of Aura Glow, I'm going with Mermaid Glow. If you are struggling a little bit with the Baume Essential, you don't usually use highlighter, you don't really know how to get this sort of wet look shimmer into your normal routine, this is another way to do that. I'm just gonna let that Mermaid Glow set a little bit, and I'm gonna go in with my Beige Healthy Winter Glow in Icy Beige. This is the primer, and I'm just going to prime my face very quickly. Just a really nice breakup step in my routine from the eyes, just to let the eyes set for a few minutes. And then that also gives the face primer a little bit of time to set again while you're going back to your eyes, and that'll be ready for the foundation or base product by the time you're ready to start that. Just a note, I do have a little bit of ColourPop lip oil on my lips, just a real teeny amount just to prep them, and so if they look a little bit shiny or a little bit pigmented, that's all that is. All right, so we are going to go in with another Chanel product to cap off the eyes, and I am going to go into the La Catron Byzance in Parure Cristal. You are probably very familiar with this quad on my channel. I adore this quad, and I adore this shade specifically. So when I saw the Aura Glow quad and it said it had a white shade with a bit of a blue flip, I immediately thought of this one. And in Lexi Zhang's comparison video, she did compare the two shades, and this one is a little bit bluer. So I am going to just tap in with my index finger, and I'm going to just tap that on the eye over where I put the Mermaid Glow gloss, or Mermaid Glow Balm. And see how that just kind of works with the reddish copper and the pinks? Just kind of makes it a little bit purpley, but you can still see the blue and the pink. And this to me is that Aura Glow vibe. This is the vibe that I get when I look at the Guerlain palette. Again, I'm not saying this is an exact dupe of what you can get with that palette, but this is how I get that feeling of having that palette without having that palette. I just don't feel the need to go out and get that palette, spend $85 on that palette for the formula that is not the baked formula. It doesn't have any special packaging. The only thing that I would really want from that quad is the blue flip shade, and I basically have that. And again, I think this quad is more special. I have the special packaging on it, and this gives me those red and pink Aura Glow vibe. With the two limited edition quads, this quad and this quad, I can combine them, keep them relevant in my collection, and not have to go out and purchase something new. Again, if you want to go out and purchase the Aura Glow quad, if you really vibe with that color story, if you really love Guerlain, I also love Guerlain, but I don't love it enough to go out and get that quad, go get that quad if you want it. Not telling you you shouldn't. I am just saying this is how I am bringing that vibe into my collection and using things in my collection to dupe that vibe. So to just sort of complement this color story, I am going to go in and line my eyes with the Stylo Yeux from Chanel. This is in 82 Bleu Metal. So this is the look with the liner of Bleu Metal. Now this is just to intensify the lash line. Violette, the creative director of Guerlain, in her tutorial videos, she is always intensifying the lash line with a liner. She always uses what feels like to me a deep plum. I feel like this blue goes better with my eyes. She has beautiful brown eyes. I have blue eyes, so I just feel this complements my eyes a little bit better, and I like the contrast with sort of the purple and pink tones in here. So again, this is the Stylo Yeux, and I've also taken a little liner brush and just smoothed out the edges a little bit. So before I finish off the eye look with inner corner and mascara, I'm gonna go in with a relatively new product to me. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint. This is in color 3. And this is just a skin tint, serum skin tint. And I tried this the other day, and it is a really nice skin tint. You drop a little bit. You don't really need much of this. It is a little bit of a runnier formula. And I picked this up at Sephora. They had 1 and 3 and all the other colors, but they did not have 2, which I thought would be more appropriate for me. But this one is just a little bit yellower than my skin tone, but I seem to do okay with more yellow tinted base products on me. So I picked this up, and it does seem to work pretty well. I'm just taking a bit on my finger. And this is a skin tint, but it does have a little bit more coverage than, say, the Water Fresh tint from Chanel. And I'm just taking the Chanel number 101 foundation brush and buffing that into the skin. You can see that just sort of brightens up my skin a little bit. Not super full coverage, but it is a little bit more coverage than, again, something like the Water Fresh tint. But obviously it's going to be less coverage than, say, the Guerlain Terracotta or the Dior Skin Glow. but this doesn't appear to oxidize on me either. So I don't have to worry about it turning a deeper yellow or anything. And as you can see, I can shear it out. So I don't know how it works, but apparently it just neutralizes something in my skin tone that works for me, as opposed to a more neutral or bluer or redder, pinker complexion product. And because I am using a more bluish look on my eyes with some purples in it, I don't want that to accentuate the bluishness under my eyes. I'm going to use a lighter concealer, which is the ABH Magic Touch Concealer in number 3. Just a real tiny, tiny bit. You do not need much of this at all. As you can see, I'm just tapping this in with my finger. And even though I didn't use that much, you can see the brightening effect because this is a thicker concealer. You can see how it just lifts up my eye a little bit more than this side. It takes out those blue tones under the eyes. I'm going to take a shade from my Viseart palette. I'm just going to take the light matte shade here, and I'm just going to run that along the brow bone just to clean up and transition easier to my brows. Soften up along the brow bone. I don't know what I did with my eyebrows this morning, but I was feeling a bit like Sam the Eagle for a little bit, and I don't know. This look is making me feel a little bit nicer. Just take some of the harshness out of the deeper copper and soften that line up. And now that I've laid down concealer, I am going to go in with Beige Lumiere, the Stylo Yeux from Chanel, and do the inner part of the eye right here. Bring some light and some glow back after putting on the base products, and then bring that in right here. And then I feel like I just want to tap a little bit more of the duochrome blue on the center of the lid. And then I'm going to go in with my Chanel Noir Allure mascara. I'm going to start out with the number 1 de Chanel Lip and Cheek Balm in Healthy Pink. And I'm just going to take a little on my ring finger and pat that in to the cheeks. And just a little bit on the lips. It's a little ironic how long I put off purchasing this particular product and how much of a staple it has become in my beauty routine. So just thought I'd note that. Then I'm just going to go into my Butter Donut bronzer. Then over the top of that, I'm going to go in with the Beige Healthy Winter Glow blush in Rose Polaire, using the Chanel blush brush. I like using this blush because it is glowier over the Healthy Pink balm, because I think you get the glow, and the beautiful pink is the best of both worlds. and the balm underneath just helps it to last a little bit longer. And just intensify it a little bit. And then I am going to finish off the complexion with the Guerlain Meteorites in number 2. This is Fierce Glow from the holiday collection, so it's a little bit different from the current number 2, which I believe they're calling Cool now. This is called Light. These don't smell as intense as they used to when I first bought them, which is nice, but they do still have that violet smell in them. And I know they've changed up the smell a little bit in the new ones that just came out. I do still want to try the Pearly Glow, the lightest one, the number 1 that they just came out with. But again, I just don't really need another powder right now. And the price has gone up on them. They used to be $68. This particular one for holiday was $70, and now they are up to $72. So I'm just not really tempted right now by a $72 powder when I already need to. I just finished my Hourglass ambient lighting powder, and I need to dip into this one a little bit more before I can justify buying another glowy finishing powder. And then to cap it all off, I'm going to add some fragrance, and I have really been enjoying Mon Guerlain. When I originally picked this up last spring, I was a little bit iffy on it. It smelled like something that I know I'd smelled before, but I wasn't sure. I do think this smells a bit like Replica fragrance lipstick on. That is a discontinued fragrance now, so you can't get it anymore. But I feel like these two kind of have that same feel, whatever the top note. I don't know if it's a vanilla or what kind of top note it is. I'm not really good with fragrance, but that's what I feel like this feels like to me. If it's not a complete dupe, it's what it reminds me of. But I have really grown to love this fragrance. I now put it on every day. It's on my vanity. I grab it and go, and I actually will spray it at night. And so Mon Guerlain is our finishing touch today. All right, hair's down, jewelry's on, and I did just say that I did the finishing step. I did not do the finishing step. I need to add a lip color. And so I'm going to be adding the Rouge Coco Balm in Cocoon. Now this is from the Healthy Winter Glow. It's not a Beige collection, but it came out with the Beige collection. And this is a really beautiful pink color. And for me, this color really mimics the look and vibe of the Aura Glow collection. I think this has a nice pinky peach shine to it. It's not too strong, but it does go with the pink and purple colors in the eye look. I do love the Bee Glow Balm from Guerlain. I recently just finished the Blossom Glow completely, and I really want to pick up a different one, maybe in the Honey Glow. I also want to pick up the Guerlain lip oils, but right now that's just not in the cards. So I am going to continue using this color of the Rouge Coco Balm. I think if you pick this one up and you are not tempted by the new, what is it, Pop Rose Glow lip color they just came out in the new Bee Glow lip balm, I think this is a really beautiful substitute if you're looking for ways to incorporate this into your spring summer routine. I think again this just really mimics that vibe of the Aura Glow and fits in really well. So I hope you enjoyed my take on the Guerlain Aura Glow look for summer 2024. Again, I am not saying that these are exact dupes. I'm not saying don't buy. I'm not saying do buy. I am just saying this is how I am dipping the vibes, incorporating things into my collection that work with this look and giving me that luxury feel of the Guerlain experience without having to go out and spend $300 on brand new products. Again, not telling you how to spend your money. just telling you how I'm going to spend mine. So I hope that you enjoyed this look and that you can find similar products in your collection to achieve it if you like it. And if you don't, go ahead and experiment with something else. Do the colors that you love. You don't have to do this color story. There's lots of beautiful color stories out there right now for spring and summer. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Any of those would be welcome, and all of them would be deeply, deeply appreciated. And I will see you in the next one, guys.